I can't believe the Audi's completely trashed.
I can't believe you drove it at Daytona with no coolant in it.
If you wouldn't have wrecked the clutch, it'd be fine.
If you knew how to drive, it would have been fine.
Okay, so if you're new to the channel, you know us as predominantly as a diesel channel, working with everything diesel. And you're probably wondering why there's an Audi with the hood up. This was kind of our science experiment, kind of step out of our norm a little bit and have some fun at the same time.
Try something different, yeah, for sure.
We built this car with a couple of our partners, which is a scrapyard and a metal recycling place. And
and guess where most of our parts came from?
Yeah, so we've got some Power Stroke 2-stage turbos in the back. We've got a Duramax intercooler rad. We got the electric fans off of Silverado. Most of the intercooler piping is off of.
There's some pipe from my house. There was some irrigation pipe as well in the car. Was kind of competitive, and we did beat some stuff.
I'm actually really happy with how it did at the Project Car Challenge. Then we took it straight home, went up north, and went ice drifting with it.
Yeah.
Then Holley stepped on board, helped us out with some go fast bits. But
so much that we destroyed some more things.
We destroyed 3 major parts.
Yeah.
The engine, we clocked at Daytona.
Yeah.
Like,
it was not healthy.
No, we already spun a bearing, but we're broke as anything. So we just did a bearing roll to it, cranked the shot, and we put it back in again. 90 PSI on 4 cylinders, 120 on the other 4. And
that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. The clutch.
That's what turbos are for.
Right.
To make
but
up
not
that
if you fill them with parts of your pistons or welding
So
wire.
apparently, diesel turbos can eat welding wire and bits of piston, and they're fine with that and still make like 22 PSI.
And
that's knowledge you need to know.
And our clutch.
Our clutch looks like there was a mouse in there when we started it and just died all over the place.
So why do you care? And why are we smiling? Because we still managed to put 500 wheel horsepower down on a Mustang dyno.
Yep. So that's like 1,000 regular horsepower.
With all 3 of these things completely toast.
Yeah, that was with everything being worn out.
So, thanks to you guys for watching. A great last couple months and a lot of Patreon support. We're able to make this Audi 3.0.
3.0. Engine's gonna get a refresh, a rebuild, a re 3.
Okay, so in the last few months, we've been able to sit down with some other major companies. We were able to attend a media conference that SEMA put up, and we were able to talk to some of the people who we bought the parts off originally. People like Mcleod, we got to sit down and talk clutches with them. Since we put our LS up against the Quattro driveline, we called them up and said, how much would a clutch be with O1E splines on the hub, but bolts to an LS? And they told us, basically, we don't want to do it. There's a lot of R&D involved, especially because where the splines and that end up. So we ended up buying a clutch off of them, just a generic $1,000 clutch with flywheel, and we made our own hubs for it. Turns out we bought a street clutch that was not meant for racing. And they literally laughed when we sat down. We said, we got this clutch, and it did pretty good. And they're like, it shouldn't have, but send us your clutch, and we will build you the proper clutch for it. A proper clutch that doesn't get so hot that all the paint falls off and ends up in the bell housing.
We were losing a lot of power.
Yeah.
A lot of power, like millions of horsepower.
I realized that when the clutch pedal broke on my Silverado, and I wasn't getting the, I had to adjust it.
Yeah.
And to get it in gear, I actually had to make, like, it was slipping, and my boost dropped like massively because it's just slipping. You don't even realize the truck's still moving, but if it's not going down to the drive line,
you need resistance to create boost.
Right. We're getting another engine built. We've got a little bit of cash. Comp Cams is gonna help us out with a new valve train. We're gonna put some decent pistons and connecting rods and crankshaft in there, and we're gonna start with a new block. Then, so we're actually gonna have full PSI in the front, so we can get full PSI to those diesel turbos, so we can get full PSI back to the front
turbos.
again.
So the best part is our used turbos.
So the turbos we got from a junkyard, imagine that.
Huh.
And
they worked.
Yep, we put them in there. I think once we pulled all your welding wire out, it still managed to make decent boost. But we had the opportunity to talk with Borg Warner at SEMA. That was a really cool conversation because the guy followed the channel and knew exactly about the turbos. So we have a 2-stage turbo off a 4.5 liter Power Stroke diesel, which is the V6 version. And I figured, well, if we put one on each bank on a 4.8, so it's 2.4 displacement, running at twice the RPM,
And a
half
mile
the
away from the
displacement,
engine.
it should be close.
Yeah.
He grabbed his compressor map and he's like, yeah, you're close, but he goes, they're actually not a bad fit. But he goes, you're probably getting choked out on the hot side. You need a bigger turbine on the exhaust side.
More free flowing.
Yeah, so we said, well, you guys are in Michigan, I think. He's like, can we drive over and you do that? They're like, no, we'll sell you another turbo. We don't do that. So we found out that Turbo Parts Canada in Ottawa actually does machine the hot side and put bigger turbines on. So we're going to Ottawa. All 4 turbos are getting bigger turbine wheels put in. He goes, that should spool way quicker. We're actually really excited. All I wanted to do was kind of introduce where the Audi is. We haven't forgot about it. This is just our giant science experiment. It's fun to kind of figure out how we can make it go faster and how to make better. And
More better.
the fact that most of it was like broken and it still put out 500 wheel horsepower, I'm actually really excited
Yeah,
because it's going to be
that's
a
very
lot of
good.
fun. On top of that, limited slip front diff.
That's gonna be a nice upgrade.
Yeah, and maybe brakes. We're still working on brakes. So we're not
The brakes we had were really good. Actually, the brakes were the best thing on it from before.
right.
But we might get some lighter ones just to try and get some rotating mass down.
It's gonna be weird. I have a hoist now. We're gonna be fixing the car on its wheels, not on its side.
Yeah,
really hard.
we're gonna have to put it on the rotisserie.
By the time you see this video, we probably already went to Ottawa.
I'm not going.
Mcleod already has the clutch and the engine's at the machine shop. So it's kind of out of our hands. We're gonna finish up some other projects while everybody else is doing their stuff and then get back on this in the next few weeks. So
Here we go.
here we go.